thanks for staying with us here at the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate, and we continue with our big focus on the farmers' protest. Viewers, the farmers, especially from North India, from the states of Punjab and Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, have continued with their protest. Their sit-in dharna continues. Another meeting was held with the government today, but that meeting hasn't resulted in any concrete takeaway. Now, effectively, this is where it's come and gotten stuck. The government says, let's discuss this clause by clause. Tell us what your problems are in these three laws, and we are actually going to see what can be done. Either we explain it to you, allay your fears, allay your concerns, or try and tweak it. All of that is on the table, but let's go clause by clause. But the farmers are very insistent, and their demand is, first, we need it in written that the MSP will not be taken away from us, that the system for a minimum support price that the farmers get for their produce will not be taken away from us. And secondly, these laws must be repealed. You keep asking us for the details, but we've already given you the details. We've repeatedly raised these issues. The government may be talking to them right now, but the farmers have been on a protest, remember, for weeks together. And they have written letters, multiple letters, made multiple representations. These are not the first round of talks they're even having with the government to begin with, actually. So they're saying, we don't want to waste time with you setting up another committee which will look into issues, go clause by clause. Let's first deal with the big fear, which is these laws. Do away with these laws, repeal them, and then we have the rest of the conversation. It remains to be seen how the talks proceed from here on. Both sides are pretty adamant on what they are offering at this point of time. That's not going to be our big focus right now, because as all of this was unfolding, and we've been constantly tracking it for you, and we'll continue to do that, what has also happened is a big fight has again broken out between our political parties. And this fight is specifically between the Congress party led by Captain Amrinder, the Punjab Chief Minister, and the Aam Aadmi Party, where the response is obviously coming from the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on these farm laws. Before I get to that and we debate that big aspect, let's listen into what the farmers really had to say about their protests and the meeting with the central government.
अगली बात, हमने बिल्कुल स्पष्ट कहा कि हम छोटी कमेटी नहीं बनाएंगे जो लगातार बात करेगी, और आज पंजाब के इस घटनों ने एकजुट होकर यूनानिमसली ये डिसाइड किया है कि हम 3 कानून के ऊपर हमारे पास वो सब है एविडेंस, बल्कि हम सब उस चीज़ों को जो सेक्शन वाइज वो मांगते हैं हम देंगे उनको लिखकर, लेकिन एक एक पॉइंट के नीचे हम लिखेंगे इसलिए हम इनको रिपील करना मांगते हैं, इसलिए हम इनको रद्द करना चाहते हैं। ये 7 या 10 पेज का हम उनको लिखकर भेज देंगे। सरकार की मर्जी है कि हमारी बात माने, अगर नहीं मानेंगी तो ये आंदोलन जो उनको हमने बताया है कि हमारा आंदोलन ऐसे ही जारी रहेगा।
अगर सरकार हमारे से सहमत होती है और तीनों काले कानून के लिए 1 दिन की पार्लियामेंट इनको बुलाना पड़ेगा, और जब तक पार्लियामेंट बुलाकर ये तीनों काले कानूनों को वो निरस्त नहीं करते हैं, तब तक ये आंदोलन चाहे 1 साल लग जाए, 6 महीने लग जाए, आंदोलन जारी रहेगा।
अगर सरकार ने हमारी जल्दी बात ना मानी, क्योंकि तीनों अध्यादेश से कम और एमएसपी का कानून बनाने से कम, ये कोई इससे कम पे कोई फैसला नहीं होगा। ये आज की भी मीटिंग में तय हुआ है। अगर सरकार ने इन बातों को जल्दी ना माना तो हो सकता है कल कोई हमें और कदम उठाना पड़े और सरकार को और हमारे ऊपर अत्याचार करने पड़े। उन सब को भी हम सहेंगे, जिससे सरकार को और सरकार के लिए खतरा बढ़ सकता है।
So there, you heard what the farmers and their representatives really had to say about the conversations with the government. Now, let's talk about what's happened in the national capital. Remember, the Delhi government, the Aam Aadmi Party has been consistently saying that they stand with the farmers. Their representatives have even gone to the farmer protest locations. They've even said that their grouse must be heard by the central government. When the central government and the Delhi police specifically asked for permission for 9 of the stadium to be used as jails in case these farmer protesters had to be detained, the Delhi government even denied permission to show that they actually stand with the farmers. But what then happened was there was a notification that got issued about 2 weeks ago And this issue has now been raised by the Congress party. This notification is to do with the Delhi government agricultural laws. I will come to that in just a bit. But first, let me tell you about this political fight that started. What happened was that Captain Amrinder and the Congress party actually lashed out at the Aam Aadmi party, and Captain Amrinder Singh said, AAP has shown their double standards. AAP is supporting the farmers but implementing laws in Delhi. They're indulging in political games for electoral agenda. Do they have no shame? In response to that, the Delhi Chief Minister has said no state can really block central laws. The President has signed the law. The law is applicable to the entire country. If it was really up to the state governments, then why would the protesters and the farmers really be up in arms with the centre? And why would they really want to talk about it? How can Captain Amrinder do such low-level politics in this situation? So now it's become a blame game. The BJP is not too far behind. BJP's own leader actually tweeted this notification, which has become the point of contention. So let me tell you what the notification really says, and we'll also talk about this. Delhi government notified changes to a state farm law. This was an act that was brought in 1999 for the State Union Territory of Delhi. On November 23rd, this new notification was issued. This notification actually says that pursuant to the ordinance brought in by the centre called the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Ordinance 2020, it actually brings in quite a bit of changes. It also takes away and overrides state laws. Then the notification goes on to say, but we already have a law that has to do with mandis in national capital, and because the state law exists, some provisions of the central law cannot be implemented. Hence, we are making changes to the state law so that the ordinance that has now been brought in, the June one, can actually be implemented. All of its provisions can be implemented. Effectively, the changes that this notification talks about are largely to do with the boundaries in the areas under the designated mandis of the national capital. But this is what has triggered a fight. And the Congress says, why is the Aam Aadmi party claiming to be with the farmers when they're implementing and notifying the central government laws? And the Aam Aadmi party is saying, we've not notified, implemented any law. It's a central government law. How can we block it? Then what is this notification really about? That is the big question. Are political parties resorting to technicalities to gain the farmers' backing and their trust? Most parties have betrayed our farmers, have ignored our farmers, have let them down repeatedly for years and decades together. They may now be focusing on them right now because the protest has become so big. And most party leaders should think about what has their party done for the benefit of the farmers in our country. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now on this conversation. Dr. Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson for the Congress Party; Sudesh Verma, Spokesperson for the BJP; Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate with the Supreme Court, here to help us understand how the central laws and policies work when it comes to implementation in the states and what this notification really does. And Jasmine Shah, Vice Chairperson of the DDC, also an Aam Aadmi Party leader, with us this evening. Jasmine, let's begin with you because the allegation is of double standards of the Aam Aadmi Party basis the fact that this notification was issued.
That's right. Nobody is disputing whether the notification was issued or not. But as you yourself mentioned, this was to do with a mere technicality which has nothing to do. It is inconsequential to the nationwide farmer protest. And that is precisely the point that the CM today of Delhi made. That once you, and this is something that Congress knows, BJP knows, and 8th standard civic student knows, that once a central law is notified, once the president signs on it, it is applicable in the length and breadth of the nation. That is the Constitution of India. So the question is, why is Congress and why is CM Amrinder Singh making a big issue out of this? And it is very clear that it is only one reason, which is Congress find itself thoroughly cornered in this entire matter. CM Amrinder Singh was on a committee of CMs, a high-powered committee, 1.5 years back, which actually deliberated these farm laws. And during several of those meetings, not for one meeting, CM Amrinder Singh stood up and said that I oppose these laws. Only when these laws were notified, only when the center went ahead and implemented this law, did Congress and Amrinder Singh wake up and suddenly started opposing this law. And today, the farmers across the nation know that it is only Arvind Kejriwal who is standing together with them. When the center and BJP applied all its pressure to convert the stadiums of Delhi into jail, CM Arvind Kejriwal stood with them and said, no, I will not let that happen. Today, when they are camping at the borders of Delhi, it is CM Arvind Kejriwal who is providing all possible assistance, be it mobile toilets, be it water, be it food, be it medical facilities. So this is really hurting the Congress. It feels that it has lost control of its plot, and something which only troll armies used to do, which is completely spread misinformation and lies, today you see an elected chief minister of Punjab doing.
So let me just read out what one of your initial statements, Jasmine, said, which came out yesterday. And the AAP statement said, the notification by the Delhi government allows farmers to sell their crop anywhere, including outside mandis. Selling of fruits and vegetables was already deregulated in Delhi many years back. Now this holds for grains too. Is that what this notification does? We've not dismantled mandis and they're continuing. So you've allowed the sale of grains outside the mandis as well. Effectively, doesn't that mean that you are enabling the central government law, which is a point of contention today?
So let me make myself clear again. The first of the three farm laws, the day when the President of India signed it, it is already applicable in the length and breadth of the country. What happens after this is that if states feel that any of their existing laws are inconsistent, they issue clarification. And that is precisely as you just mentioned. The rest of the order only says that here are we defining the boundaries of our mandis because it was creating confusion on the ground. Anybody, even today, even if we not issued this notification, anybody could have gone and sold grains outside the mandis of Delhi because the central law is the law of the land. So again, this is an attempt to take away the focus on the issue of farmers, which is legalizing MSP, giving them some kind of a security even after these kind of laws. And at a time when the entire nation and especially opposition parties should be standing united with the farmers and not with those who call farmers as anti-national, you have Congress clutching at the straws and trying to break this unity with which the farmers are camping at the borders and demanding answers from the ruling party.
Okay, let me get a response then from Dr. Shama Mohammed on it. Shama Mohammed, here is the Aam Aadmi Party, and even the Delhi government has repeatedly said that the laws have already been passed. There is nothing we have to do. This notification isn't really implementing the laws.
Okay, first and foremost, when the Bharatiya Janata Party hits a roadblock, now there is a roadblock here. They have a very difficult situation against farmers because the farmers are determined. They call up immediately their B team, which is the Aam Aadmi Party. That's when they spring up to action. They want to divert the attention from the farmers' true cause, and they get the Aam Aadmi Party comes in and implements in fact a law from the three of them. I'll go into details about it, and then puts blame on us, where Mr. Amrinder Singh blatant lies on television. Amrinder Singh has agreed to these. See, don't blatantly come and lie. All right, you must be somebody new in the party, but don't come and blatantly lie on national television. Amrinder Singh never agreed to any of what you're talking, whatever nonsense you've been talking for the past 1 or 2 minutes. Now, what they have done, out of the three laws which came in, which the government, and he clearly says that this is a law and we have to implement it. So what is this protest about? How are you saying that you're with the farmers when you're telling on national television, the center has the bill has come through, the center has said these are the laws, so we have to implement it. So you are with the Bharatiya Janata Party and you're against the Kisans. You're clearly saying it over here. Number two, the law which they implemented right now is the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Ordinance, which allows you to sell outside the mandi. Now he said, outside. Now, what is the important thing is that is the one which will destroy the APMCs, and that is the one the farmers are protesting about, because once the APMCs go, there will be no MSPs. And what they have done is they say that vegetables and fruits are already there, but what is more important now, they put grains. And he doesn't understand, the man sitting here called Jasmine, that grains are the most important for the public procurement. So the Food Security Act, which the Congress party got in 2013, has three parts to it: the PDS, the MSP, and the public procurement. So these grains are the ones which is done mainly for these farmers. They are procured by the central government. We knew what happened in Bihar in 2015. They abolished the APMCs. The growth of agriculture went to 0.6%, and public procurement, 80% of public procurement centers in 2015 are closed. And what is happening is middlemen and traders and the private players are buying from farmers in Bihar at a very low price and selling it in Punjab at MSPs. So this is what is happening. And these people, like before they started protesting, they did this notification on 23rd of November before updated, before the farmers even moved. Look at them. I mean, on one side they say we are supporting, and on the other side he clearly comes and says, you know what, these are the laws passed by the center, of course we have to follow it. So then why do you say you're with the farmers and then you point fingers at us? We know that the Bharatiya Janata Party has sent you, but please stop being the B team and short in you, please.
Let me respond to this, please.
Okay.
You wanted to ask me something?
I
Okay,
wish.
okay,
I
Jasmine,
wish,
you
I
respond to
wish-
this, but I'm sure what Sudesh Verma also says, you will have to respond to
Very
that.
quickly.
But let's go point by point. Okay, Jasmine, yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I wish the Congress spokesperson was a little less ignorant about how central laws are implemented. Nobody chooses to implement or not. This law gives you the flexibility to sell anywhere outside the mandis. And madam, you may not be aware, in Punjab, today, if you pick up the Tribune, there is a story that in Punjab, a private party has gone ahead and bought 2,000 metric ton of kinos. Did Punjab government sit and facilitate it? You had no role because you have no role. It's a central law. Anybody today is free to go and sell and buy grains. So please do not impose your ignorance on the viewers of this channel. A 8th standard civic student knows that once the laws are notified, they are laws of the land. And please do not break the unity of the opposition. It's the farmers that you should be supporting. Stop
Why are
fighting.
you implementing it?
Stop on an
What's
issue
the
like
stop
this.
fighting?
It's
You are
simple.
implementing it.
Congress
You
today
are
is not standing.
implementing the law. So that's what you are the
Okay,
BT
okay.
Janata Party. I want to respond to that. I
So
want to
let me
respond to
let me come in here. Let me come in here. You- Shama Mohammed, let me come in here. I have two more panelists to go to. I will come back to you.
I just want to point out one thing. He said that it is the law of the land the central government has implemented, so we have to implement it too and follow it. But we have negated those in our assembly in Punjab. He doesn't know
Clear
that.
joke.
Negated.
Joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can. Yeah. I'm
Please
sorry.
kind of ridicule. If you're
Okay,
serious, go talk to Modi.
I will come to that point. I understand what you're saying. I will come back to the Aam Aadmi Party representative, to Jasmine Shah, in just a bit to say, well, if you believe so clearly and dearly about what the farmers are saying, why don't you bring in your set of legislations like Punjab has done? We'll come to that. But very quickly, because this point is coming up again and again, Mr. Sanjay Hegde, good evening to you. Do the states have to notify a law that has been passed by the center, an ordinance ratified, approved by the president of the country, to implement it on ground? Do the states have to notify it or do anything to their existing law, especially for a sector like agriculture, where there is a concurrent list and states also have quite a bit of power?
See, the first point is that if it's a central act, it's the center that notifies it. Unless the central act itself says that it will be notified at separate dates at separate parts of the country. That is not the case here. So the center has notified it. Second question is that there is a pre-existing state act. There are certain provisions of the pre-existing state act which the government of that particular state or the National Capital Territory of Delhi has determined it runs contrary, or there is a threat of repugnancy with the central act as now enacted. So in order to remove that repugnancy or to minimize it, the state government has now come out with this notification. Essentially what the notification does is that previously the operating area for any trade, whether it was grains, whether it was fish, etc., all covered the entirety of Delhi, and it had to be done through that particular mandi. Like the Ghazipur mandi is for fish. Now what they have said is that okay, throughout the state, no, it will not apply. But for transactions within the mandi alone, and that is within the physical boundaries of that market, the act will apply. That seems to be the intent of the notification as I have read it. They have narrowed the focus and thus avoided large scale repugnancy.
Can I come in?
Okay, so you're saying that the boundaries have been redefined to narrow the impact of the law.
Yes, what the notification does is the state law will not operate throughout the state, but will operate only within the mandi. And the boundaries of the mandi are, for instance, the Gazipur fish market, the landfill on one side, this one the other side, and all that. So it's only within the mandi that all the state law, and there will be other provisions of the state law also as to how a trade is to be done, how a trade is to be recorded, things like that. All those laws will apply within the market yard alone.
Can I come in?
Okay, then Mr. Sudesh Verma, no, 1 minute, Shama Mohammed. Let me just bring in Sudesh Verma as well. Then Mr. Sudesh Verma, is this double standards? If they are essentially just strengthening what's there within the mandis where the state laws can exist, and the rest is already a central law for the entire country to follow.
You see, I don't mind you giving my time to Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party because they are thoroughly exposing each other. And it is the best thing the country should know what they're doing. You see, Aam Aadmi Party, what they have done, we thank them for accepting that the centre has passed the correct law and they have got their APMC rid, the farmers rid of the APMC, and they have allowed farmers now in food grains also. In Delhi, in 2014 itself, Delhi had, taken fruits and vegetables outside the APMC mandi. Now, food grains also they have taken as per the central law. It is exactly how the centre has stipulated that APMC exists, but farmers have a way to sell outside the APMC also. This is what we have been trying to explain. You see, what Aam Aadmi Party is saying, and this is correct also, we have been saying the same thing, that 2019 manifesto of the Congress Party spoke about abolition of the mandis and taking away the middlemen to empower the farmers. And Captain Amrinder Singh was a part of that manifesto committee that drafted the manifesto. He did not object then. Then how can he today oppose the same thing and support the farmers? Actually, they are misguiding the farmers. That is why we have said that each and every provision of the legislation we are ready to explain. There is nothing against the farmers. We are not taking away anything. We are empowering by enabling legislation. We are giving an alternative route which they may or may not use. If you are happy with APMC, go to the APMC. But if you are unhappy with APMC, you should have the chance to go to private mandis also, where you can get a lucrative price. So who should be opposing that? Tell me, in contract farming, are you saying that contract farming does not exist in this country? It is happening, but it is not happening in a systematic way. And we have given legal protection to the farmers on that. Who will oppose that? Tell me. So all these things, all these agitation, we need to explain to farmers. We are trying to do that, but these politicians are trying to fish in troubled waters because of their own inability to fight against us politically. They are getting thoroughly exposed. And we are happy about that. Farmers should see that who are the people who are supporting them. Internally, they believe in our legislation. And that is why they are getting exposed.
I think the farmers are very clear about this. May I just 15 seconds, Shama Mohammed, I'm coming to you. 15 seconds is all I ask. I think the farmers have made it very clear and very apparent to the entire country and the entire world that nobody can mislead them and fool them. They've obviously kept all the political parties at a distance. They're also very clear of what their agenda is, what their questions are, and what their focus is. That being said, Shama Mohammed can respond first and then to Jasmine Shah.
Yeah, so 2 points. One to Mr. Sudesh Verma. He spoke about our manifesto. Our manifesto clearly states that after that sentence, that after making multiple small mandis, that is very clear in my manifesto. Now, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Sudesh Verma, a question which I need an answer and which even your agricultural minister today couldn't give an answer to another journalist or anchor. Why did in 2011, when Modi was in charge of the Consumer Affair Group, he said that he gave, they made a report and gave it to Manmohan Singh that we should make MSP statutory. and we should have fast-track courts to solve the issues of farmers. There are no fast-track courts in this. There is no civil court in this particular bill. And plus, he is the one who said that it has to be made statutory. He's gone back on his word. That one you will not have an answer on it. Nobody has an answer on that.
No,
You have
I
to
have an
answer that.
answer. You ask me a question, I'll answer you.
And let me finish. And what Jasmine is said, exactly what the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson said, is that he's agreeing to it, is because when you go outside the APMCs, food grains are sold, the MSP is going to drop, because which trader will go to the APMC when they don't have to pay the registration fee of the APMC, they don't have to pay the taxes, so they go to the farmer directly. But what happens is the farmer will not, there is nobody to regulate, so they will not get the fixed price, the MSP price. So that is the issue here.
That is precisely the issue.
That is the issue, and you support what you did is behind everybody when everything is going on, you implemented it. There is something that is why the farmers are protesting. They don't want this law to be implemented, but you've gone ahead and implemented.
Okay.
How can you say to the farmers? I'm unable to understand this man.
Can I answer?
And then
the law is already implemented. May I? 1 minute. I don't understand this. In fact, I don't even know what the Aam Aadmi Party keeps saying about it, about selling the grains outside of the market. The law that I am reading at, the notification only simply talks about making changes to the boundaries of this mandi, which is very clearly been explained by even Sanjay Hegde here. It's not to say that the law is being implemented. The law is already there. It's existent because the central government passed it, and the president gave his nods to it. Now, unless and until you want to be one of those government who blocks it from taking place on ground, I don't know, Shama Mahmood.
But the state, that's what the Punjab is doing. Punjab negated it. That is why the farmers are protesting it. If you want to show your support to the farmers, they are against this bill. You have to suspend this bill. They don't even want to talk unless this bill is suspended. This law is suspended for the time being.
Okay, that's the second aspect. That's the second aspect where you've now said, okay, now like us in Punjab, bring your own set of laws to counter what the center has done. Okay, that's the second aspect. Jasmine, to respond to that, and then I have a question for Sanjay Hegde. Yes.
Allow me a few seconds. Now, I wish she would have made some clarifying statement, Shama, but what she has done is made another error after error by saying that, yes, the issue is about whether you can allow the sales to happen outside or not, but the central law allows it. So what is Punjab CM's plan? You are saying that we have notified, we had extra constitutional powers. CM Arvind Kejriwal had extra constitutional powers to go and notify or not notify these laws. So if CM Amrinder Singh also has his powers, what are you going to do? Have you let your police on the people? Are you monitoring? Have you put satellites to make sure that there is no trade happening outside your mandi? So please stop fooling the people. This is a law that is already in motion. Please allow me to finish. And I've shown you an example that just today in Punjab papers, there is an instance of one corporate entity buying 2,000 metric tons of quinoa from Punjab. And what have you done? You have done nothing. You are coming here and you're misleading the viewers.
You're lying. That's all you're doing.
What is the issue here is of MSP.
Shama Mohammed, we are unable to understand you. 1 minute. If you're going to talk over each other, I will not be able to understand anybody. Let him finish his point, and then you can make your counter. Please also understand you're not all on live units now. We're all on Skypes and Zooms. Voice gets cut if two people talk. Let him finish, and then we will get you in. Yes, Jasmine, finish your point.
My only request to Congress at this stage is that please stop fooling the people. Please stop breaking the unity of this fabulous, unprecedented movement that the farmers, it is not your party or my party that has launched this movement. It is the farmers that have launched this movement. And let's keep focus on the main issue, which is legalizing MSP. Today, the farmers, majority of our farmers today, MSP is going to be abolished. We stand with the farmers on the front of legalizing MSP, which, as you rightly said, BJP stood for.
One thing you haven't responded to, Jasmine Shah, is was your party and the Delhi government caught off guard? You went around making it easier for the central laws to be implemented, changing the provisions within the state law so that this ordinance can be properly, all of its clauses can be implemented. You did all of that before the farmers' protest exploded to become a national story. Were you caught off guard on the farmers' protest and what they really wanted?
It was only the Congress and the BJP which have hopelessly lost the plot. They have no answer as to whether to support or oppose the farmers, and they are the only ones. Mind you, not a single farmer of Delhi has stood up and said that you have violated my rights. They stand with Arvind Kejriwal and his support for the farmer movement. They stand with the demand that even Aam Aadmi Party is saying and all the farmer unions are saying, which is please legalize the MSP. Please give us the assurance that we will not die of hunger once these laws, which have already started being implemented, and corporates all over the country have already started implementing. As much as Congress wants to stay in its lala land and think that any state CM has the power to implement or not implement these laws.
Can I come in now? Can I come in and explain to you what is the issue?
Okay, very quickly. No, one.
See, what you're not able to understand.
What is the issue with?
What you're not able to understand is what Aam Aadmi Party did now is they are making grains which can be sold outside the APMCs. That's what they put in the notification, grains. Before they were fruit and vegetables. Now grains is something which has an MSP. All right. And that's what they do. They could have just negated it. They could have waited. Why do they have to implement? The law is implemented by the central government and we are all going against it. The farmers are against it. So why do they have to go ahead with the notification? So what they're doing is they're going to sell it outside the APMCs. That's what I said. You have to understand that then the trader, I mean, they don't have to pay any of the fees. So what happens eventually? The APMCs collapse, the MSP collapse, and public procurement collapses. So nobody, and he says the farmers are with Arvind Kejriwal. See, that's what I'm telling you. Get genuine people, comes on air and lies. Farmers are not with Arvind Kejriwal. They are a group on their own and they are against the central government's laws. There's nobody with Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal is isolated. So please don't say farmers are with Arvind Kejriwal. And the farmers are all one.
Okay. May I just go across to Sanjay Hegde on one.
And legalize.
May I just go across to Sanjay Hegde on one aspect again, Mr. Hegde. Is there a lot of misleading and twisting around the facts that's taking place on the existing central government laws and what states can do with it? Now, yes, the Punjab government has come out with its own set of laws that they passed in their assembly, but that's not got the approval from the centre. So those laws are of no use. Here's a Delhi government that's actually changing its own set of laws to make it easier for those central ordinances to get implemented, but they pretend and they say that they are with the farmers. Are governments and parties doing something else legally speaking versus what they're telling us when they say they stand with the farmers?
Well, that's the way politics runs. They will do what is right, what they think is right administratively, and in the public sphere they will say something else, whatever gets them votes or reduces the other side's votes. The fact of the matter is, forget farm laws or any laws. The Constitution has a rather simple formula. If it is the state's, if it's the center's domain, the center prevails. If it is the state's domain, the state prevails. In the concurrent list, if there is a central law, the central law prevails in case of any repugnancy. The only exception is if the state passes something which is contrary to the center or repugnant, but the President of India has assented to it, in effect, which means that the center has said okay to it, then that particular amendment, which has been assented to by the President, that will prevail. Punjab can pass any law, but unless there is presidential assent for it, it will be of no use. It will be the central law that will prevail in Punjab. As far as the Aam Aadmi is concerned, what they did was, they looked at the fact that there was a central law. They looked at the fact that their pre-existing law appeared to be inconsistent. So they minimized the scope for conflict by saying that the state law would operate only within the fixed parameters of the actual market yard itself, and it would not go outside the market yard.
But they could have very well not done on that and sat on it while these protests continue and conversations between farmers and the government happen about these laws.
They very well could have done that, because many states also would have a prior legislation which now stands superseded by the central act. That they may not have shown the same alacrity to amend their state laws.
So that is what I'm
Other
trying to tell you.
states may not have moved as fast.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's what AAP is against the farmers. That's what
yes,
exactly
the Delhi government has shown the alacrity which the other state governments have not.
They hit the
Jasmine?
nail on the head. That is what I'm saying. They should have kept
See,
quiet.
again, the point that I have made is that this notification is completely inconsequential to the demands of the farmers. And that is the main point of this entire agitation.
Okay.
What are the farmers demanding? The farmers are demanding that MSP
Can you explain why is it inconsequential? No, answer the question. Why is it inconsequential? No, I don't care if you spoke. You tell me why is it inconsequential? Answer the question. Because you're lying on national television. When you lie, we will not let you speak. That's what will happen.
Speaking. And you are disputing the basic rule of the constitution that a state government can negate a central law. Then why doesn't your CM make sure that none of these notifications are implemented? Do you have that powers?
No.
Fooling the people by
knows.
No, but
Everybody
Jasmine.
So please stop fooling. Please
Okay,
stop.
let's take it point by point, Jasmine. Now you're shifting the goalpost. You say that what we have done is inconsequential to what the farmers want, which is the assurance on the MSP. That's one of their demands. The farmers are still very clear saying, repeal these laws. That's their first demand. Repeal these laws. Your notification effectively enables these laws.
Nothing, not at all. Even if this notification, which I again say was inconsequential, if this was not passed, do you think that anybody could not sell outside the mandis of Delhi? They had that power already the day that the president had signed these orders. So this was nothing but a clarification, as Mr. Hegde said, to remove certain repugnancies. These are just mere technicalities, and to use this to spread lies and to deviate the focus from the main agenda of the farmers of this country will not forgive Congress. They have belittled the cause of the movement, and they are defaming Arvind Kejriwal because they have seen that it is only Kejriwal who stood in front of the center when the center wanted to put them into open jails in 9 stadiums. It was only Arvind Kejriwal who provided them with lot of necessities.
Can I come in?
Chief Minister.
Okay, I just also want to bring the attention of our viewers to some news that was flashing on the screens just a short while ago. We do know now that the Punjab Chief Minister will also be meeting Amit Shah tomorrow at 9:30 over farmers' protests. So the Punjab Chief Minister is actually meeting the Home Minister about the protests that are being carried out by the farmers. Of course, Punjab and the Congress Party and the Chief Minister have been the most vociferous about these farm laws. Closing comments from Mr. Sudesh Verma, who actually wanted to come in between and respond to the Congress Party. Yes, Mr. Sudesh Verma, over to you.
You see, we just have to say that we are very, very convinced that is why these legislations have been passed by Parliament, that this is for the benefit of farmers. Only those people who bask in the glory of farmers do not want that they should get the prices of their produce, are trying to hijack the system, because you see, because the Congress is thoroughly exposed, because when in the 2019 manifesto they came with the same thing. And it is not, I'm not blaming Congress, because Congress also built on the various committee reports, various commissions reports, including the Swaminathan, which is the National Farmers Commission, which gave it 5 reports, based on all these. Parties have come to a conclusion that APMC needs to be reformed because the middlemen who hijack the system, not once, many complaints have come, including the Competition Commission of India, that they say that, it's becoming cartelized. All these things are happening. So something needs to be done. And so the government has, in its best wisdom, come out with a law which is very transparent, will benefit the farmers, and will explain clause by clause. Just because you have the numbers, don't try to subvert democracy in this way. Please, political parties, don't do that. Let us argue. Let us stop clause by clause. We are ready. And if you have
Did you just say, Mr. Sudesh Sharma, just because you have the numbers, don't try to subvert democracy?
Why are you bothered? You don't need Congress.
Mr. Sudesh Sharma, did you just say just because you have the numbers, don't try to subvert democracy?
Tanvi, he
That's
has not
exactly the
Yeah.
allegation
Do you
from
know-
the opposition every time you
Tanvi,
railroad
what is the number of
and
farming
bulldoze a
families in
bill
this country?
through the parliament.
Tanvi, let me tell you. Do you know what is the number of farming families in this country? 12 crore, which comes to 50 crore people directly dependent on agriculture.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? APMC does not exist in
Yeah,
Kerala.
close to half
It
this
does not
country
exist
is
in Bihar.
directly, indirectly dependent on
I mean,
agriculture.
Even in Maharashtra, fruits and vegetables, even in Punjab, fruits and
Good.
vegetables are not part of the APMC. You are talking only about the grain market, isn't it?
Can I come in on
Correct.
No, he has not answered the question
Correct.
about Mr. Modi.
Bihar
Which he
has a
will-
different set of state laws already. Their agriculture works very differently from Punjab, so does for Orissa, and Maharashtra has its own set of laws. What you have done now, Mr. Sudesh Verma, is to bring in 3 set of laws that are going to be implemented across the country. You can't deny that across the board, all kinds of farmer groups and representatives, including the associate arms of the RSS, are currently opposing some of the finer details of the laws that you've brought in. You can't deny that not only has one of your allies walked out of your alliance over this law, but even your existing friends, including the BJD, have taken a very clear position to say there is a problem, including your partner in Haryana. The JJP has said that there is a problem and we must have a conversation. Again and again, let's not try and make it all black and all white. I know it's become a habit in this country and in this world to make everything black and white, but it's not. It's not that simple. Not all things about these laws are bad. Not all things about these laws are perfect and great for the farmers. But the solution can only emerge when both sides are willing to talk and listen to each other. And now I'm not talking about the political parties. I am talking about the government of the day. I am talking about state governments and central government because it brought in these laws. They need to hear out what the farmers are saying genuinely and where the problem lies. And if it's simply lack of confidence in these laws, fear of them losing their minimum support price, fear of them being targeted by big corporates who will come in, if it is about the commission that the agents get, about the holds that the governments have, all of that needs to be discussed and changes made so that it benefits the farmer of our country and nothing else. It would be great if the government at least admits that yes, there are some issues that have been raised across the country by farmers with these laws. Let's sit across the table, discuss those, debate those, and see what needs to be changed. It would also be perhaps beneficial for the protesting groups to understand. It's highly unlikely the government will agree, and it's not even perhaps fair to do away with all of the good things that have come in with these 3 laws. Some of their clauses are beneficial to the farmers. Let's retain those. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.